Alright you guys, welcome back to another U150 deck list. Today we are going to be talking about Lucario, a deck that we initially thought was going to be just trashed here, but with more discovery, it's actually not that bad of a deck. I think we had it as like an 8 seed, but it should definitely be like a 5 or a 6 or something, or sorry, 4 or 5. I would put it right in the middle of the pack. It's built around this Lucario here that has Fight Alone. If you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent, it does 60 more damage for each fewer Pokemon. So 2 fewer Pokemon, you're hitting 150 for 2 energies. That's amazing. The only drawback behind this is that it is an EX. This printing of it is reversed because it's a League Cup thing. When I build these decks, I just find the closest copy, and this is what I had. But it is an EX. This is also an EX, this other Lucario. And those are all the only Lucarios that you play. So the problem is that your main attackers are 100 and 110 HP and both EXs. But the thing to realize about this Lucario is that its first attack isn't that bad either. It does 50 for 1 energy, which knocks out most all like basic Pokemon that evolve, like Claydolls, Porygons, any Stage 2 basic. It knocks out most all of them. Let's say they have 60 HP, this is knocking it out for 1 energy. So it does act fast and can take a lot of quick knockouts. This Lucario is a little bit harder to charge up, but it's 60 plus 30 for each prize card your opponent is taking for 4 energies. Now we do play Metal Link's Bronzong, so it does, you can charge it up a little bit easier, and it does turn into Metal typing when you do that. So you can kind of make it bulkier with shield energy and whatnot. But yeah, that's those 2 Lucarios. You also are playing Lucario level X, really just for stance, as when you evolve it, you can prevent all effects of attacks done to Lucario during the next turn. Or not evolve it, but level X it. It's good for like that 1 turn buffer, especially if you're taking a knockout on that 1 turn, because the only way around it is they have to Hex, and if they don't Hex or Goop, then stance is staying in play, which is awesome, I think, right? I think that's how it works? Could be wrong. Pretty sure that's how it works. Anyways, Lucario, you are playing a 3-2-1 line, pyramid line, just so you can keep this in play at all times. Kind of just have 1 Violu on the bench and then evolve a new one. Like I said, you also are playing a 1-1 Bronzor line, but you're also playing a Bronzong Break. I feel like if you're playing Bronzong, you should play a Bronzong Break, just because if you don't have anyone to accelerate to, getting the break out for like late game sweeping is actually really, really good. So you are playing this for Metal Acceleration, and then you also are playing 1 Quick Guard Revenge Blast Galbalion. You're playing, I think this goes in like any Metal deck for late game one-shots, since there are 8 prizes. Revenge Blast is going to start taking one-shots halfway through the game, which is really awesome. So you are playing, you got the Galbalion there, you got the 1-1 Bronzong line, and then we're also playing Unknown and Unknown R. Since you are trying to have less Pokemon on your field than your opponent, if you need just like quick draw power, this is one way to bench, just to get the bench space filled up, and then Farewell Letter or Retire to get some extra draw power. And then support Pokemon, you are still playing, I think you're still playing all of them. Yeah, you definitely are. So you're still playing the 1-1 Claydol, the 2-2 Porygon 2, and 1 of each here. No reason not to. You just kind of have to be wary about where it sits on your bench and how long it sits on your bench for. We do play a lot of like scoop up effects and that sort of thing, so that they don't stay on your bench for very long. But you have to really be smart about when you bench those Uxies and whatnot, so that your Fight Alone can actually do the amount of damage that you're intending to, which is basically go for 1-shots. Since you're an EX, you want to try to take as many 1-shots as you can, so they can't take advantage of the 2 prize knockouts. Moving on to supporters, we're going to play AZ to pick up stuff from your bench. Like I said, you want less bench than your opponent. Beyblade for good search. Cassius, same sort of reason as AZ. You want to keep as many, like least Pokemon on your field as possible. So we're going to play a lot of supporters that do that. Cassius is one of them. Colress, Copycat, Guzmud around at that top row there. Hex, Maniac, and every deck. Karina gets a little bit of extra boost because you are playing fighting types in this deck. Usually Karina is just for Claydol. Lurker's Investigation, Lysander's Trump card, and Marley's. We're also playing a Mr. Brimes, so that makes AZ, Mr. Brimes, and Cassius for ways to pick up, supporter-based ways to pick up Pokemon. N, you got a Mallow in there instead of the Oracle. Collector, Juniper, and Oak. And then to finish out this bottom row, you got Sycamore, Admin, Rosie's, Sages for extra draw power, Skyla, Teammates, and then you do have a Wally down there. Now you notice it is a little bit extra. We got 6, 12, 18, 24, 25 supporters, but you kind of need that extra draw power since you might not have as many. You might not have a Porygon or a Claydol on the bench. You might only have one of those two. You're definitely not going to have. I mean, you can't have both, but if you're looking at doing maximum damage, you might only have one on the field. So a little bit extra draw power in this deck is needed for that specific reason. If that makes sense. I think I explained that decently. Yeah, you're going to have less Pokemon, meaning you're going to have less support Pokemon, bench sitters, or you at least want less bench sitters, so you can do more damage, so you can need more supporters and draw power. So, speaking of draw power, we got ourselves Acrobike, Battle Compressor to get metal energies in this card so you can Metal Links them, Bill, extra draw power. You are playing the Captivating Pokepuff, Target Whistle, that sort of thing, because your opponent might try to limit their bench to limit your damage, so this is a way to get, essentially plus 60 damage every time you hit one. Computer Search to Erica's Perfume, there's the reprint of Captivating Pokepuff. Escape Rope. We got ourselves an Evo Soda, Invention, Item Finder, Junk Arm, Level Ball, Luxury Ball, all standard looking stuff. Max Potion, we play this because we do have Bronzong, so being able to Escape Rope out of the active, you can still Max Potion and whatnot. Misty's Wrath, Mr. Fuji, ways to get Pokemon off of your bench in item form. Palpad, here's the Poke Flute that I mentioned a little bit earlier, Poke Flute, Target Whistle, essentially plus 60 damage when you hit them. Communication, Rescue Stretcher, Professor Oak. Scoop Up, it's not only stable, but in this deck gets Pokemon off your bench. Super Rod, Swoop Teleport gets Pokemon off your bench. Target Whistle plus 60 damage. Ultra Ball, VS Seeker, and Windstorm. All stuff that you would expect to go. This deck was very easy to build. This is all the stuff that you would expect to go in this deck. Nothing too fancy. It's basically the Pokepuff Erica's Perfume combo, the Target Whistle Poke Flute combo. That's out of the ordinary. You could put a little bit more draw power if you wanted to, but you have that in supporter form anyways. Moving on to Stadiums, we're only going to play two. We're going to play Broken Time Space because you're playing Evolution. And then Parallel City, you can Parallel City yourself to get less Pokemon on your side of the field. Just a way to bounce like your Lapras, your Uxie, your Spiritomb, ways to bounce like your early starters. Great way in Parallel City. Items, you're going to be looking at, there's no Muscle Band in this deck, there should be. There is no Muscle Band, but there is a Floatstone and a Fluffy Berry, just to help stuff get out of the active so you can Fuji it away. Stuff like Spiritomb, Dunsparce, that sort of thing. You kind of want those things on the bench. Plus, this works really well in tandem with Escape Rope. Experience Share to start, if you have Cobalion on the bench but no Bronzong, ways to keep energy flowing. And then in any metal deck, I like playing a Hard Charm. It goes along with the special metal energy, the shield energy. You can kind of start reducing damage really quick, really fast with that. Kind of keeps your stuff a little bit extra bulky. And you have the Elite Four, no reason not to. You also have Dowsing Machine, the A-Spec preferred here. There's really no other stuff to talk about there. That's 100% inclusion in every deck. And then we're going to move on to energies to wrap it up. Like I said, we are playing Special Metal and Shield Energy. Just reducing damage on your metal typings. You're going to be playing a multi-energy because we play fighting and metal types. And then we also play fighting and metal type here. It's on this blend energy. Fun fact, you can also then use the water energy if you need to surf at any point. And then energy, we're going to be playing 3 fighting energies for the other Lucarios and the Lucario level X. And then 7 metals, I think is enough. You're never going to Metal Links too much, plus you're going to have your specials for your metal attachments. You're fine with this. You can, you probably actually can go like this and go 8 and 2. 2 is generally enough for the 2 fighting types you have. You don't necessarily need 3, especially with these 2 here. So if you are worried about your metal typings, you can go 8 metal, 2 fighting. But that's about it for the deck. It's a pretty straightforward deck. You're going to have less Pokemon on your side of the field. That's kind of the reason we thought it was lower tier, because it's going to be harder to stream your Lucarios and stream your attackers because you're going to have less Pokemon on their field. And it's a little bit less consistent because if you have too many bench sitters, you're losing consistency and damage. But you can always play around it. It does have options in the deck. It does have that vacuum wave attack that is super quick and super fun. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I hope you enjoyed.